Hello and welcome back to the roads of Elden Ring. Today is another short episode, because today we will finish exploring the rest of Castle Ensis over here. Because if you remember, this part is still left unexplored, and there is a teleporter over here, just below this riverbed here, where we haven't been as well. So I want to do that thing first. First the teleporter, then this small little fort part down on the other side of the river here, which technically is still part of Castle Ensis. But we're starting with the teleporter, which is being protected by this apparition over here, this ghostly giant, or troll I think, right? These things are called trolls in this game. So let's get down here and visit this teleporter. And I wonder, do I actually have the key for that thing? Because I haven't picked up anything, so let's see. Yeah, I got one. Good. We need another sword key for that, imbued sword key. And now this is teleporting us to a different location. If we go back to the... nope, wrong button. To this map. This is a similar teleporter to these 4 right here. If we remember, one of them is teleporting us to to this remote location over here, to the beginning of the game basically. Then another one is teleporting us into the main city, into Elden, on I think this bridge, onto this big bridge that is normally inaccessible, or only accessible very, very, very late into this area. Then another teleporter is teleporting us right to Farum Azula. Where is it actually? I don't even know where we are being teleported to. Just some floating rocks outside of Farum Azula, but with a great view to the enormous storm in the middle. And then the last one is teleporting us right here, I think, to this part of the underground area. And I don't like these teleporters. These are basically just spoiling certain areas to you, or maybe making you want to explore even more. There are two sides to this coin, right? Let's say you're brand new to Elden Ring, you go into a teleporter, and you end up all of the sudden in Farum Azula. Now there are two sides. First thing, oh great, no, this area is being spoiled to you. And second thing, which is something positive, oh boy, I wonder how I'm ending up here. Right, I want to play more. So it's a bit dangerous. Certain people see it this way, other people see it that way. I personally am not a fan of that, and I think this over here is the place where we are being teleported to. If I see that correctly, this looks certainly like the place you would end up at. But I personally don't like this. Teleporters, I feel like, are also a somewhat lazy way of getting the player from one point to another. So you don't need to craft the path in between these two locations. But honestly, in a game like Dark Souls 2, for example, teleporters would work wonders, I feel like. Because if you do it like in Dark Souls 2, then your world is being destroyed. Like the believability is being destroyed because the connection paths between certain areas in Dark Souls 2 make no sense. Right, you walk 10 meters and all of a sudden they want you to believe that you somehow end up in a place that should be like 200-300 kilometers away or something, right? Nah. Or best example, you go up an elevator and all of a sudden you're in a fiery castle, right? Weird things happen. And similar to this, let's see where we are right now. We are located in this place. And we travel to another location. And let's see where this one is teleporting us to. And we're in the ancient ruins of Roa, which is over here. Not that big of a leap, right? It's not that far away, but it's far away. We are right now in a remote part of these ruins, which you can technically access by jumping down some parts up there. Later on you will encounter these areas up there, or you will be able to walk up there. But in order to get down here to this location where I'm standing right now, you need to do some tricky jumps, if it's even possible. I'm not sure. What I want to know now is what this item up here is. Probably nothing major, but... okay. Not even worth it. Right. But usually this place, or these kinds of places that are very remote, that you can't access in any other way, like the one in Faramazula, or the underground, or even the beginning area, right? Usually there are a few items that are noteworthy, and so is this place. I will not go in detail in exploring this area in particular, because we will be here quite a lot when we explore the raw ruins, when we finally get here. But for now, this just gives us access to this one enemy. If you want to farm this enemy, I think they respawn. But you have to teleport here every time, which is quite inefficient. And then we're getting a talisman over here, I think, which is absolutely useless. Verdigris Discus raises defense with higher equipment load. In particular, this becomes noticeable once you are fat rolling or once you cannot roll at all anymore. But you never want to be at that equip load. Not even for a bit of defense. So this one is probably, if not the worst, it's one of the worst talismans that you can equip. Because the downside of not being able to roll and having a higher stamina consumption is much higher or much greater than the upside of having just a bit more defense. But if you're... I mean, I guess this one thing is useful for a very specific build, but only for that one build, but it's not really a thing, or not really a talisman that you want to put on every single build. There's probably just one build that you might want to use with this one, and it's only good for bosses. Because if you're unable to walk, it takes ages to walk from point A to point B. But now that that is done, the teleporter story over here, now we can explore this small appendage of Castle Ensis, and we access this by looking at this one piece over there, and then look down here, and we can see we can jump down there. And I'm not a fan of this path either. Not this particular, but I mean, it's nice that this path exists, but I don't like that this is implied to be the only path, right? Because if we have a look down here, maybe, I can't look up there again, but maybe this wooden platform that we've seen would have been the anchor point for a ladder. But there are definitely better ways of getting to this fort than a stupid ladder. Imagine having to carry all these sacks down a ladder. Or all these barrels that are down there. That would be terrible. But now we're in the Fog Rift Fort, probably called Fog Rift Fort because here we have the Fog Rift Catacombs, and this is the fort in front of the catacombs. I can just imagine. But it's also an appendix of the Castle Ensis here. Has the same architecture, I think. At least a similar one. And it's very close to it, right? So let's see what kind of area we have here. This is our starting point. We have a respawn point so that we don't have to jump down these cliffs every time we die. And then we have... this is so useless. And the fun begins. Explosive barrels. Because if you've been down there, you know these dudes like to throw fire bombs. And this up here is no exception. These enemies will throw fire bombs at you. But you can also utilize these explosive barrels with your own fire bombs or fire arrows. Right? If we grab a bow and fire at them, we can turn their weapon against them and blow up everything we see and get rid of a few enemies here and there, right? So hooray, fire barrels. But we also have to be careful not to stand close to a fire barrel while these idiots are throwing stuff at us. But so far, very similar or very easy to traverse level. This is not extremely huge or anything. It's not very complex. We have the downside here, or not the downside, but we have the ground level and the wall level, and that is basically it. It's not as complex as the small fort or four that we had a look at last episode, like the 4 of Reprimand. Is it 4 or Fort? I like Fort more. But it surely is fun, letting all these explosive barrels explode yourself with fire arrows. And there is a very special enemy over here, which is this boss, or the boss of this level, which is technically the same enemy, or almost the same enemy as in the Fort of Reprimand. In the Fort of Reprimand, there's a Black Knight with twin blades. Here we have a Black Knight with, I think, is it a hammer? Yeah, it's a hammer. But this one is special because he has the best aspect of the Crucible incantation that is not in the game for the player. Which is a crime, I must say. But we're having a look at the boss later. Let's have a look at this nonsensical wooden platform over here first. Oh, there's another one. Hello there. Because what the hell is even that? Again, I really don't like these wooden platforms that go to the outside of your wall. I have to repeat myself, because you might not have watched last week's episode, but I don't see any upsides to these platforms. Maybe there are upsides that I don't know of. But let's say I'm defending this fort, or this castle or whatever. And I'm standing here shooting arrows through these arrow slits, taking cover behind these bigger pieces of the wall, right? And I want to shoot through an arrow slit that is here. Or I want to drop something down my wall to hit enemies that are right against the wall. Then there is this stupid wooden platform. Okay, you might say. Then let's utilize this platform by standing on it and shoot down. Now you're at risk at being shot as well, because you're quite exposed up here. It's much safer behind this wall, where you at least have a lot of cover. Sure, there might be the possibility that an arrow comes through the arrow slit, but it's not quite as easy to shoot through that thing from afar than shoot you from here when you're standing here, right? So I don't like this. Similar to that is this stupid wooden platform with this wooden bridge on the outside. Why is this not made out of stone? Why is this staircase even here? Why is it not inside here, where you're protected, having a staircase that goes down here, or maybe down a story over here, right? You go down, 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 down. Now you're one level lower, and you can go out of the door right here, right? And then you have a stone platform that is formed like a bridge to somewhat safely get you across this canyon, right? And now you can have this one reinforced as well. I guess the wooden makes it look and feel a bit more diverse, I think, would be the word, right? Because you have a stone ground and a wooden ground. Feels more exciting, feels more interesting, right? Here, a wooden bridge would be somewhat fine, I feel like. It's nice that they have a stone bridge, but it's not that necessary because it's on the inside, right? The inside is usually better defended than the outside. You know what I mean. I think you know what I mean. But oh well, with these wooden platforms outside that add a bit more dimension, depth to this place, I guess. Or interesting features. I just have to guess. We also have a small ladder that leads us down into the courtyard. And this courtyard is quite strange, quite the strange place, because you would expect there to be a gate in the wall. At least I would expect that. Quite a few corpses here, so they've probably burned the people that are stationed here. Although these are quite a lot of corpses. You wouldn't station that many people in a fort like this. It's way too small. But similar to Stormvale Castle and what's the other castle called? Redmane Castle, right? We have these flamethrowers here, which is quite a nice throwback. But it feels so awkward having these stationed like that. Like they are all aiming at this one ladder. As if no one can throw or shoot down these walls, right? It feels kind of awkward how they're stationed here. It feels unnatural to me. It just feels like a player trap, right? Like they're only waiting for the player character, because this is the way the level is designed. But you can easily jump down that wall here and land on this wooden roof. And this looks like, from the lighting, that can be destroyed. Maybe not. Maybe by an explosion. Let's see. Are these explosive? I doubt it, but there's no harm in trying. Let's see, do I have fire bombs? Let's just use fire grease or something. I can't, right? It's a blood-infused weapon. Well, let's get the bow out again. Probably not, right? These are too bright. Yeah. This one maybe? Nope. Right, so it's not destructible. But it has this weird lighting on it, right? Where there is more like the directional lighting or the dynamic lighting of these torches, but no natural lighting like from the sky and something. It's kind of hard to describe. But looking at this mesh over here, like this metal piece, this is differently lit than this wooden piece here. Like all these destructible things. But it's easy to see what I mean, but it's hard to describe what I mean. I feel like if you don't know the right terminology, and I don't know the right terminology. But what is being protected here so dearly? Great, a flail. We got a flail. Not the most exciting loot. But also not the least exciting loot. Flails in this game are quite shit. And they look quite shit to me. And they sound annoying. And they look stupid when you swing them. Because instead of having a clean and smooth trail, right? If you hit with your weapons, they leave behind this white trail, right? But instead of having a smooth or nice and curvy kind of trail, they have this jagged, wildish, wavy kind of thing. If you look at the flailing here, it looks quite stupid in my opinion. And also, like, the range is terrible. I don't like this weapon type. Heavy attack sucks. And this one is basically your boom hammer from Bloodborne. It's your boom hammer. Right now it's fire infused, and it's the boom hammer. Oh, come on. The boom hammer. Hey. Right. Enough of that. Which is... I mean, the boom hammer is 1,000 times cooler. This one is a joke, but whatever. Not everything can be good, right? Technically it can. You just have to make it better and not shit. But alright. Now the final part here. This the second half, let's call it, or the third even, whatever. Right, first part is this wall piece, second part is this, whatever this part is, and then the third part is the small ground area down there. Here with the boss, he came out of his this room, and this room is housing useless stuff, upgrade material. And on the back side we can jump down. I'm doing this later. And then over here we can explore, I guess. This small area behind the tower, where it would be nice to have a door here. Right, and similar to this tower, how are you supposed to get into this tower without a door? Come on, people, put more doors inside. But let's see what's down here. Alright, we have to jump down, then there is a staircase leading to this small area for some reason. There is nothing here, so why even having this part is a mystery. Of course for level design reasons, but not for in-game world design purposes. And then we have this weird-ass ladder on the back of this building that grants us access to the roof. Why not having a ladder inside of this building instead of on the back side that is connected to this wooden, quite unsafe looking platform alongside the waterfall where you have to jump to in order to get to? Of course, because of level design reasons, right? It makes it much more interesting, makes it like, oh, I found something. That's the effect they want to evoke. Which is not inherently bad, but the world design is kind of suffering. And here we're getting actually a pretty good talisman, so there's not all bad things. This is the Arrows Soaring Sting talisman, which does the following. Increases effective range of bows and raises attack power of arrows and bolts, which is amazing. It is basically... Where are the talismans? There. It is basically a mix out of the Arrow Sting talisman, which raises the attack power, and the Arrow's Reach talisman. And you can't equip all three. However, you can equip the raises attack power of arrows and bolts one, the Arrow's Sting talisman, with either Arrow's Reach or Arrow's Soaring Sting talisman. So, but you can't stack the increased ranged ones, but you can stack the damage one with the rest. Which, unfortunately, you can't make extremely far flying arrows, but I think what is the furthest flying arrow? First of all, you need, I think this one has still more range, so you need this talisman. Or maybe they have the same range, I don't know. But let's just call this one the highest range talisman for the purpose of my thing. Like you put on this, then you use which bow exactly? Probably the black bow, right? Ansbach has 15, no, not even the black, it's a pulley, this one. Okay, the black bow got, well, whatever. Get thrown from the throne. Or pushed from the throne, I guess, by the pulley bow. Is there further flying? Crossbow one, no. This bow has the longest range, and then you probably want to have the bone arrow, the storming bone arrow, maybe? Not the fletched one, right? No, fletched just adds distance. This one is Stormwing bone arrow. That's the one that flies the furthest, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just every fletched bow, arrow, not bow. Why would you fletch a bow? That makes no sense. Whatever. Not that much stacking going on with that. But that's basically this area. And then, of course, you can jump over this gap, and you're on top of this plateau, where you can do absolutely nothing. Is this survivable? That's probably death, or can you walk there? I don't want to test that out. I don't want to test that out. Oh, maybe there's a secret, right? Oh, let's test it out. No, that's not. Is that an animal? Is that animal alive? There's nothing behind this waterfall. See, that could have been a nice secret. Instead of having the ladder on the back of your building there, where it makes no sense, put a secret entrance here in the behind the waterfall or something, where you can find some treasure. Would have been much cooler secret, I feel like. But oh well, now let's see the biggest crime of them all. Let's have a look at the biggest crime of them all. This boss. And if you don't remember, the biggest crime is that this one has a very special aspect of the Crucible incantation. If you don't know what that is, let me show you somewhere my spells. There. Here, these are aspect of the Crucible. Wrath, Tail, Horns. New to the DLC are Thorns and Bloom. But this one has the best one. And I want it. This one has Tongue. Look at that, it's pulling me, he's pulling me towards him. Wouldn't that be cool? Do it again. Do it. Ah, come on. Do it. Lick. Isn't that cool? I want that. That's a fun one. Why not? Why not give that to the player? Do it again. Oh, come on, when is he... How much HP does this one have? Honestly. Thank you. But no aspect of the Crucible lick or something. It reminds me of this Pokemon, right? The one with the long tongue. Is it called Licky Licky or something? Very unoriginal name. I think it's called... I don't know what it's called, but it reminds me of this normal type Pokemon with the long tongue. Kind of unfortunate. Like, this would have been the single best aspect of the Crucible incantation, hands down. Even better than the other one that we can't get, which we encounter much later in this series from a very specific Crucible Knight. But this, the other one, I don't really care about. I do care about the other one, but I care much more about this one. Aspect of the Crucible tongue or lick or whatever should have been in the base game, or not the base game. Should have been in the DLC or in the game without mods. There's probably a mod out there that adds this one aspect to the game, but no, I don't want to have the mod. I want this in the game. Miyazaki, patch it in. Do it now. Right? But we're sadly already through this episode. Because this was the Forgrift Fort, or 4, whatever. And it's kinda bittersweet. Because level design itself is okay-ish. Some unnecessary things, like we've talked about, or I've talked about and you listened to. Again, like this wooden platform, this wooden bridge there outside. Could have looked much better than the weird ass, you have to jump down on this one side and then climb up and then jump over there and then there's no secret in the waterfall or something. and with this stupid ass flail, but this awesome talisman, and then you have this boss that uses a fantastic incantation that we can't obtain. Quite a bittersweet episode. But yeah, let me know what you think about this fort and why there is no fucking door in this fort. Like, please just give me a door or at least a bridge to the to Castle Ensis, right? A bridge here would be nice, or a door down there, not just this one. Now we can see the wooden platform, like the silhouette of the wooden platform where there could have been a potential ladder or something. But whatever, let me know what you think about all of that, and well, that's it from me. See you in the next one. Goodbye.